I just happen to be in a major city on a day when they're doing estate sales. That doesn't happen often, so I'm going to freestyle and go to a few. This one, the sign just came up randomly, so let's see if they have anything vintage. This is Bluebird estate sale. They seem to name the estate sale companies after sweet little critters in nature in Kansas City area, and the next one I'm going to is a Ladybug sale. Too bad the Crocs are not for sale. Well, I didn't see too bad about this piece because that is broken, but it's sure a pretty pattern.
What's over by McLean's pastry, so I'm driving for the pastry.
70 on the apartment size.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. We'll see you.
Royal Grafting, $6. That's cute. Nothing I really need though for the price. Oh, I like the old pickle caster, but that is not the original because the lid doesn't fit, darn it. These are fun. You set them in the middle of candlestick holders by Cambridge and decorate that way. Like that. Well, I see some antique and vintage and collectibles, so we'll see what else there is. I like the paperweight cordials, $2 each is good. These are Bartlett Collins beer glasses from the 70s, collectible. 30s Depression cake plate. Ooh, here's a good piece. This is Roseville's Raymor. There's the mark on the bottom, a little hard to see. Raymor, yes, is the same Raymor that all those Italian companies made for. Irving Richards was the designer and ran Raymor. Unfortunately, Roseville's brush with Raymor caused their bankruptcy. It didn't work out. Teabag holder collection is cool. If you can't fit any more teapots, well, that's an alternative. Aw, look how cute this guy is. Studio piece. He's kind of thin and I don't think important, but I like it. They definitely spread out this sale. So there is stuff here. There is some vintage and antique stuff. Some of these are probably nice. They're $30 each, though. I have to say most of the prices are high, but I did find a deal. These casseroles are really cool, and they definitely have a studio look, but I don't see any marks or indications, so I think they're actually commercially made. Tupperware row of pitchers. Still waiting to see the fate of Tupperware. These tiles are kind of cute. This pelican would probably sell in Florida. Certain ones are more collectible than others. It does pay to look at the artists. Okay, what's in here? Oh, a radio flyer tucked under there, but not a real old one. I do look at old advertising rulers, especially if they're for things like cars and stuff, because you have cross collectibles. Grandma had one. Used to have antiques. Now she just has craft supplies. So Grandma's antiques are all gone. I won't be going there. Modern gas range for all types of cooking. People are using these in all sorts of crazy ways to resurface tables and things like that. So they are collectible. What's behind the tarp? Lots of little drawers for collectors in this piece of furniture. Let's see, old tools. Anything with an interesting shape and embossing is worth at least looking at. A lot of these they're old, but they're mainly just functional. I don't really see anything in terms of woodworking tools that would be worth money. The cabinet's only $50. The Snap-on logo was added later. If it was a real Snap-on cabinet, that'd be worth a fortune. Hubcaps actually do sell online, and they're not that hard to ship because they're not breakable, but I already have a bunch I need to list. There are some people buying these old 70s fondue sets and using them again. Let's see if this has all the pieces. Looks like it's got all the forks and the original cord. Okay, this is a Japanese one out of that era in this nice orange color with an extra lid. Fondue was a lot of fun, but I just seem to remember everybody burning themselves a lot with hot stuff. Oh, look how cute the little junior Challenger water skis are. Oh, those would be great in Florida, but wow, $36 and in this condition. So far, I have to say, I'm glad I found the piece that they didn't understand, that Roseville butter dish, because I'll make money on that. But boy, the prices are not really very dealer friendly at this sale so far. I'm surprised. They usually are. Well, you know, as soon as I say that, then I see a $4 1930s flower frog. Look at that great beak. That is just so cute. So there are some good deals in the house. You just have to look at estate sales. Everyone has a different idea of pricing. That is a beautiful and rather hard to find epergne in the middle. It is Fenton's Peach Blow, but it is a single horn. They didn't like to do a lot of single horns, but wow, they have it priced at full retail. For a newer house so far, we are finding antique and vintage items, but just finding them at store prices. There is a handsome bunch of furniture. Wow. Very impressive 1870s approximately bedroom set. Look at the sturdiness and the handsome carving. And hello, everybody. But at $900 for the bed and $1,000 for the mirror, again, you could get these things in an antique store for these prices. And they're saying, well, you can leave a bid. Well, yeah, I think someone's going to. Let's see how the quilts are priced. I'm not optimistic based on other prices. Yeah, this one's $80. It needs repair. This one with the wedding ring is nice. Good pattern, $60. That's not too bad. It's smaller. Old frame German bisque porcelain plaque. This is also German. There is some really nice older furniture in the house, but, you know, like this commode with the marble, it's a very handsome piece, but it's $200. And you could practically get it for that at an antique store. I have a feeling the client may have pushed the prices and wanted to hold out. This is really neat with the liner, the Prince of Peace. Pretty 1890s frame. Her scowly expression is just because the exposure times were long. You couldn't smile then. The sunflower linen is cute, but we're next to Kansas, the sunflowers stay, so it's $6. I like to look through linens at a sale if prices are high on other things, because it seems like a category people overlook sometimes. Like this big one down here, it's only $4. That seems like a good piece for a table runner. The church pew is nice. It's a small size, priced at $240. This doll looks like a Bilo baby, but look at the eyes, the way they're painted. That's newer. That's an Ashton Drake edition. This is a cute little piece together shadow box, but not really old. This is a nice little piece of furniture against a wall because it's got a shelf and a drawer. It'd be handy by a hall, and I like the marquetry. You can see the heavy turning in the legs. Obviously, these people were of German descent and liked things like music boxes. That's a really pretty piece. $200 on that could be a good deal. If it was older, that'd be a fantastic deal. We'd have to see the quality. Now, these are New Orleans scenes by Marie Little, and she is a listed artist. She's considered an outsider. Her pieces that have Black Americana in them sell for big numbers, several hundred. These priced at $150. Again, this is about what these go for, but there's a very clear signature. Mostly newer things in here, good quality, but not the kind of thing I look for at an estate sale. Nice chair, though. This is the Meteor lamp. It's got a great glass base. The brass is very fancy. Halley's Comet came around 1910, but meteor showers and astronomical events were definitely a thing the Victorians were focused on. This should have had a globe. It'd be a fine buy at $30 if you had a globe to replace it. It really could just be something plain white like the one on this chimney lamp over here. I do like the full-length mirror. It's $30. I'm thinking that's not a terrible price because it is gesso and it's got the bow knot from about 1930. So that's a possibility. Now, this is a great little piece. This is a needle case, a thread case. You would expect this to be in a store, but apparently they did it as an end table so they could display things on top of it. So the best always Crowley's machine needles, and then you open it up and you see all the various machine needles. They're marked by the number. There's all these little drawers. They're asking $500. It honestly is probably worth that. This is a pretty crochet piece. Not sure if it's $15 or if the rack is $15. I guess it's the rack. Well, let's see what this piece is. That'll give us an idea. 10, so this might not be too bad. It feels like it's all cotton, which is nice. There's our tag. Where'd we go? Oh, 30 on this one. Well, it is nicer. Funky glass flowers from the late 40s, early 50s. This is definitely a thing. You can make them look nice. You might have to bend the leaves back up and make it not so flat. But at $6 each, those are a pretty good deal. And another neat little cabinet here, Rice's Silks. But again, they want $450, and a cabinet this size should be, $100 less than that, probably. It's just too much for an estate sale. $130 on the picture. There's some cute stuff here, and I am finding a few things well priced. This is a reprint, so it's only $20. Funny little candles. These little boxes, even though they're fairly recent, sometimes they're Limoges. Or something else that's good. So I do look. I don't see any I need. Now, the black kid here is $40. Let's see if we can get the light off his face. There you go. This is from the teens. And $40 because it's a black kid instead of a white kid, probably a fair price, maybe some room in it. These are 40 each also. We don't discriminate, but in this case we should because the black kid's worth more. 280 on this high chair. Again, it's a really cute high chair, but where are these numbers from? This is broken, Capo di Monte for 40. Kathy, $10. You know, Kathy stuff's got to start being collectible here. It's been long enough, and she definitely was ahead of her time when she came out. All right, we've done the garage, we've done the main floor. Let's go downstairs. I see a big cedar chest at the bottom of the staircase here. Handsome Empire style table from about 1890. This is a game table. It's going to flip open. They have 150 on it. I've not been having a lot of luck selling these forms, but I like the way that they work because this opens, this flips, this turns, and here in this well is where you keep all your game pieces. So it's a nice little hall table, and then it expands out so that you can play cards. Lane will still replace the old locks on these old cedar chests because they did have a defect where they would lock and you couldn't get out of them and kids would suffocate playing hide and seek. It wasn't a good thing. So you can have that fixed, but for $200 it's sitting here. Well, this is the second day of the sale. Apparently it's 25% off. I did not see any signs until this little tiny one in the basement and no one mentioned it. I would have been shopping differently if I had known there was a discount. This is a tie holder. You would have put some sort of a little picture in there from about 1910. I don't see a price. I'm thinking they might make this cheap and you could throw just about any cute picture in there. So I think I might get that. You know, it's funny to come into an estate sale and go right past the people working here and nobody said that things were on sale. This piece, not enameled on the inside, probably Chinese rather than Japanese. It does have some age. It's only $6. I think that piece of cloisonne is cute enough for that price, except is that a big crack? Or is that just a seam where they put the inside together? Looks like it's just a seam. I think we're okay. Sometimes prices in the basement are better because by the time they get there, they get tired and they just slap numbers on things. These are $8 each, and they're cute from the 70s, but again, that's about what I get for those, so no. These big magnifier lamp lights from the 80s, they were made in Taiwan, but they were good quality, and I've sold them at estate sales for pretty good money before, but not quite as good money as they have on it. They have this priced at $140, and again, to me, that's a retail price, but these are good if you see them. Coffee table books, $10. Well, as popular as he is, his autobiography doesn't go as high as I thought. Maybe only about $15 for the first edition. Harry S. Truman's haberdashery was here, and his house is still here in Independence, Missouri. This is where he lived before he became president. Extra credit if you know what the S in Harry S. Truman is for. We'll tell you at the end of the video, but leave a comment. Well, I am going to steer clear of this wall of pink plush and see what's in this other room instead. There's a bathroom and a back room with holiday, but this all looks like newer stuff. You know, the sale's been going on 2 days, but there's still a lot of stuff here, and I kind of can see why based on what the first day prices were. Again, I've been to this company's sales before and the prices were better, so I think the client put them up to it. Well, this one said it had the crafts, and wow, look at all this. Frames and ribbon and guidebooks and buildings and all sorts of supplies. Boy, if you were a crafter, this would be a really fun sale. Pays to check cloisonne very carefully, and I just noticed, feeling with my thumb, that there is a chip here. So I guess I'm going to leave it, which is too bad because it was a cute piece for the price. Let's see what we have in terms of Lennox Christmas. They are asking $250 minus 25% for the whole stack, and they do have the cake stand, which is nice, and some serving pieces down here. Well, while they're pushing stuff out of the garage that people have bought, let's talk about 3 unexpected lessons that we got at this sale. Lesson number 1.
brand new neighborhoods oftentimes do have houses full of antiques because a lot of times brand new places are places that retirees move. So don't assume that because it's new, there won't be anything old. Number two, don't assume that because the staff is standing there and it's the discount day that they're going to tell you there's a discount. Look for signs. Don't make assumptions. I probably would have bought a lot more if I hadn't walked through 3/4 of the house before I saw one tiny little sign that said it was 25% off today. So if you're having a sale, the lesson is don't hide your discounts. Just tell people they'll buy more. That's the whole point. And the third lesson that we learned today is that even if you're in an estate sale where a lot of things are priced retail and they seem pretty high, keep on looking because you will find sleepers, you will find things that have lost their tag that they will then price properly or that they didn't know were what they were, like that Roseville Raymor butter dish, which is probably a $40 item that I got for $6. Believe me, looking at the prices on the other stuff, if they thought it was worth $40, they'd have priced it at $40. And now we're going to head on to our regularly scheduled sale that we were headed to when we saw the sign for this one. Well, we're making another unexpected stop. This house had a huge garage sale sign and the garage is open and there's enough there. I just have a feeling I should look. Wouldn't mind having that guy. Well, this is cool. It's a print, $5. Papa Joe's restaurant. That looks like Key West. These are all more contemporary than I do. Looks like we've got a big old Bible under this Xfinity piece. Little bank from Hallmark. That's 70s, but not really a big demand for that sort of thing. Bigger tray for $2. That's kind of a no-brainer. Little Gay Fad painted sherbets here. $1 for all. I don't really need the white roll, but I don't know how you say no at a quarter of a piece on these. Lots of clothes, nothing vintage. And then this space seems to have electronics. Home theater system for $100. Boy, imagine that was probably 5 times that much new. Wow, $30 on a flat screen. It's just amazing how cheap things get eventually. Old movie projector is $5. This sold for $50. Good deal. Well, that's one thing I can say about Kansas City. It does seem like it's easy to find stuff here. Even the garage sale. I mean, I spent $3 whole, but that stuff will sell, and it'll sell for probably about 20. So nice turn there. Once we get it, you know, you have to actually sell the thing before you start crowing about how much you're going to make. It's nice to actually make it, but I do think we're going to do something with those. So that was very fun. Well, I've been to very few estate sales in Kansas City, but Ladybug Estate Sales is one that I've attended before, and I liked their sale, and I found good things. They said this one has antiques. It's just a little house. It just opened this morning. Let's see what's left. Looks like the ladies here found some good stuff. All right. Desert Rose. This looks thicker on the edge, like it might be the English. Yes. Quite the same caliber as the American. Big old Stein, but this looks like it's 1960s. It's $50. They're not as easy to sell as the old ones. They have sewing machines here. They don't have any Singer featherweights. They do have some Singer portables, and then they have the dial sew in the middle. That looks like something that was probably made in Japan in the mid-60s. $45 is not a bad price on that, though. Martha Washington sewing cabinet, $45. These have become more popular lately. This actually is probably a viable piece. A little bit of stuff outside. This all seems newer. I like the old tire track. Foot wiping pad. Newer water feature, only $35. I mean, the prices are great. It's just not old stuff. Oh, this person really liked their sewing machines. There's a $50 console model. Now, the console models, they don't sell for a lot more than that at estate sales. They're so well made. It's probably indestructible, but not that many people want a piece of furniture for their sewing machine now. They really just want portables. A heady point of Pinky, $60. Let's see what we have in here. Cute watercolor. I mean, somebody went to great pains to set up a cute house, but whatever was antique and vintage must have left really early. Tilt top table that somebody repainted. I could do without the repainting part, but it doesn't look like it was a very good one to begin with. I think that's fairly contemporary. This is not. This is a nice chest of drawers from about 1890, American walnut. But that's about it. I'm just not seeing a lot of other really old things. This box that someone put a new piece on as their sewing box. Interesting treatment of this 1930s cedar chest with the painted top, done at a later time, but not unattractive. That was definitely a look. The green tops on wood furniture was definitely a thing in the 90s. Now, is he brass? Or is he Anthony of California? Or is he a mold? He's a mold somebody made. 1967. I don't usually buy white, but it's a starfish, it's BSK, it's a shape, it's a decent size, and I think it's only $2, so that's a yes. Well, there were just a few antique and vintage items at that sale. Cute house. It's another lesson. Old houses don't necessarily have old things in them, because this is someplace that somebody moved in just a few years ago and they brought mostly new stuff. But I did get one vintage pin and I like it, and it was only $2. Look at the neat pattern shingling on that roof of that 1890s house. You do not see pattern shingling often. I'll be darned if they're not having a church sale and it's half off. Maybe all the good stuff will be gone, but this appears to be an annual event, and I'm going to check it out. We are at the Old Stone Church, which is part of this very large complex of church buildings, and they are having what appears to be the annual garage sale, and it is the 50% off day. So let's see if there's anything left. It's cash only. We're okay on that. Oh. Well, this is a cool looking church rummage sale, and I see old things right away because I see autumn leaf, and it's half off, which means that it is now the correct price. It should be for wholesale, around $14.50. This two-parter should sell for about the price they have on it. And I don't have one, so I may come back and get that. It looks like that's just a sticker. Gold light fixtures, a piece of uranium glass right off the bat for $2. This is Hazel Atlas. It's a strange pattern, but it looks great under a black light because it's really faceted. And wow, this is still here. This tells me dealers are not shopping these sales. The Charles and Diana Royal bust-up plate, $7.50. And then the Wedgwood box with Mother for the Jubilee. The Queen Elizabeth box in the dark color is rather attractive, and at $7.50, I probably should buy it. All sorts of figures, mostly resin, mostly newer. I remember making that same cross in church Bible camp. And then you got to play with matches in church Bible camp. I always thought that was an ironic thing, but it was fun, and we didn't become pyromaniacs, so that was good. It is certainly priced like a church rummage sale, so it's amazing any of this is still here at some of these prices. This is new, I'm sure, but cute. I'm sure some Disney collector would probably look for that, although it looks like it was in the sun. That's not going to have any age. The bird is probably 1970s or 80s with that very careful airbrushing, New Orleans of Japan. A little bit of wear. The Crush for $10. I believe these are resin figures. Or are they ceramic? I think they're ceramic. That's not a bad buy there, really. They still have some teapots. You can tell some sold. Teapots are getting popular again. Susie Cooper made really great deco stuff. This is after the name was long absorbed into transferware made by Wedgwood, so it's a different thing entirely. These all seem newer. Drums are fun. This one's not really old, though. Well, it is definitely a church rummage sale, and it's got all the things you would expect. Dean Koontz books and all sorts of cookbooks and all sorts of ideas about how Everyone should live their life. Now, this could be interesting. A surname index to the 1850 federal population census of Kentucky. I wonder if any of the folks I know in Kentucky would be listed in here. This seems to be all Boone County, though. Boone, Boyle, Bourbon. Yeah, there must have been a whole series. I don't think any of them lived in Bourbon County. That seems like a dangerous place to live. Old thermoses. They're only $2 each, but they're very heated. However, if they have the glass inserts, they could be useful for that as a going for one that got broken. Pretty floral transferware. I like the water lilies. This is probably Truman, probably from 1910, and very hard to sell. Beautiful though. This one would be a little easier to sell because it's hand painted, and it is Nippon, and it's Noritake with the Morimura mark. Certainly for $6, somebody could make money on that because it's a nice size piece. I have a lot of things that look like this right now, though, so I'm not likely to buy it. This is Fostoria Fairfax. It's not really remarkable in and of itself, but is the blank for a lot of beautiful etchings, and yes, sometimes in color. They're really, really lovely. Elegant Depression glass did come in color as well, and I think today's glass collectors might want to look back at some of that because there's some really lovely things. This one is $6 now, and this is a Jeanette glass-ish, I believe, also 1930s. I'm skipping the clues, although there is lovely fog in there out of business. Well, let's see. Pins and rings, but nothing that really looks vintage. Jewelry not discounted, that's fine, because if I found something I liked, I wouldn't care, but I don't see anything that isn't really new or just not interesting to me. So, old apple or fruit baskets for $2.50 a piece are a good deal. This is very 70s with the dried flowers. This was the home of Independence's famous native son. This 1860s house was considered a fine home when a fairly well-to-do and very successful haberdasher here in Independence, Missouri bought it, and that was Harry S. Truman. He moved in with his wife, and this ended up being the summer White House after he unexpectedly became president in 1945. There's a number of Harry S. Truman landmarks in this vicinity. The Presidential Library and Museum is right near here. You can tell that it was not a new thing that people who wanted to become president needed to start from a position of wealth and power. This was by far not a typical home in 1919, although it was a used home, so he did work hard for his money, but Harry S. Truman had been very successful, and that was his springboard into politics. You see the carriage house out back there. It was a very sumptuous lot on a prominent street corner as well, which is now known, of course, as Truman Road. Okay, here's the answer to the trivia question. Notice how the Park Service correctly does not put a period after S. That's because the S in Harry S. Truman stands for S. That's it. He did not really have a middle name. I'm not sure whether his parents gave him S as his middle initial or if he just needed one and put one down on a form at some point and that was what it became. But S indeed is his middle name. This statue of Andrew Jackson was presented to this county by Harry S. Truman, who was put on the ticket because they needed somebody to keep the South in the fold. FDR had been president for 3 terms, was running for number 4, did not appear well. There was a lot of skepticism, and they needed to keep the South in the fold. Interestingly enough, there's Oppenheimer playing over at the cinema. Of course, Harry S. Truman did not have a whole lot of support and backing from Roosevelt and wasn't really kept in the loop very well, and suddenly inherited finishing up the Second World War, including the decision to drop the atomic bomb. From the county courthouse, George the Antique Nomad reporting. And now, if you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help. And we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.